So we're making this video today because we're super excited. Everybody, when they're full-time RVers, they always have one of these cool maps. And we were RVers for quite a while, and we never got one of those cool maps. So I don't think we were ever fully, we couldn't claim to be full-time RVers because, we didn't have the map.
We didn't have that tradition, yeah.
But we do now, and we've got our little stickers, and we're going to put our stickers on our map today. So, here we go.
And maybe explain a little bit about the different places that we have visited and when we did and what we were camping in and those type of things.
Okay, how do we start? Where do you want to start? I got Cali here.
Let's start with California.
Okay, California. And our son and his wife lived in California for a minute. So,
well, we can't count that because we always just flew out. But there was a time.
Wait, so do we get to put the sticker on? Did
Sure,
we camp in California?
We did. Because on our 25th wedding anniversary.
We've been married 30 years in November. We got married in November 1989. I was a baby. He was already old, but I was just a kid.
Still am, and she still is a kid, so.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, can I see? All right, so we're going to put you tell them about California. I'm going to put my little sticker on.
All right, so for our 25th anniversary, we wanted to go someplace special. We were living in the Las Vegas area at the time, and she'd always wanted to see sequoia trees. Am I right?
Yes.
And so we read that a part of Yosemite, which everybody says is a must-see, and by the way, they are right. It is a must-see national park. A part of it has some sequoia trees, some giant sequoia trees, which I believe she cried the first time she saw one.
Don't judge. I cried. And I cried when I went to Disneyland, too. And I'll cry again, and you'll see it, I'm sure. Go ahead.
But anyhow, we found a absolutely beautiful little national forest campground about 10 miles, I want to say east of the east side of Yosemite, and had a beautiful waterfall. And we just took our tent.
Do you remember what it was called? Aspen Grove?
Could be.
I think it was
Aspen
Aspen
Grove. We'd have to look it up. Well, maybe we'll put something at the bottom of this, but yeah, we just spent, I want to say 2 or 3 days there, going back and forth. Wonderful, wonderful place.
My favorite part of Yosemite, actually, even though it was so gorgeous, was the actual campsite that we were at, because we were right on a waterfall, and it was gorgeous. And just being somewhere where we've always wanted to go is pretty cool. And we've also been to what's it called? Something of the Giants, Trail of Giants.
I think something like that, yeah.
Right? And where else in Cali? I mean, to the beach, right? On the ocean.
But they weren't with camping trips, but we did have one camping trip in California. That's why we feel like we can go up there.
So our map, we've been to a lot of places, but we're only going to count on this map places that we've been camping.
Yeah.
Or RVing. So
yeah, RVing.
There
camping,
are rules
tenting, yeah.
to these maps.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually been to all 48 of the contiguous states, but never been to Alaska and Hawaii. That's on my bucket list. So.
And we just got our passports, so we can drive out to Alaska when we're ready. Okay, what's next?
All right, let's hit the trip that we did just this last summer. We were here in Missouri.
Yes.
And we've been camping in Missouri many times, so we'll just go ahead and put that one in here.
Okay. Because I was born and raised in Missouri.
We'll just go ahead and put that one in here.
Okay. Because I was born and raised in Missouri, and my love of camping comes from, my family. We camped growing up, and so I always wanted to grow up and be a work camper. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so here's Missouri. This is very exciting. I'm stoked. Okay.
So we live in northern Missouri right now, but we've done most of our camping, I would think, in the Branson, Missouri area, in the southern part of the state. If you ever have a chance, go down there.
Yeah, if y'all haven't been to Branson, some people don't like Branson because it's kind of busy and, it is touristy, but it's so patriotic and American, and we love Branson. Okay. Next. You're talking about the trip we took last summer.
It's the state of Nebraska.
You keep talking. I'll find the stickers. I have no idea where
and
they're
I believe we did it all in one day. We were actually going to stop on the very west side of Nebraska. But when we got there for one reason or another, I think there was Cabela's on the far west side of Nebraska, but we felt like we still had a couple more hours of daylight, and we really wanted to push on a little bit, so we just kind of drove through the state with all intentions of camping there, but we didn't quite. But we're still going to count it because it was part of our camping trip.
Where's Nebraska?
Okay, Nebraska is over.
I mean, not on a map. I know where Nebraska is. I'm trying to find it on my little thing here. Wait, is there another one?
I love Nebraska's commercials.
It's not for everyone?
Yeah, they have a lot of commercials out now that say Nebraska. It's not for everyone.
No, that's all the states.
But it has, oh, there it is right there.
Okay, here's Nebraska. Do you want to put one on?
No, you go ahead.
It's very gratifying.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Nebraska. And we broke down in Nebraska on the way back, and the people were very nice. Okay.
From another trip, not on this trip.
Not on this trip. Different trip.
Yeah. But we did love Nebraska. Just kept driving right through it. So like I said, mostly because we were kind of anxious to get to where our next stop was. But there was still no problems with it at all. We did love it.
Okay, next. Wyoming?
Next one was Wyoming. So we made it just into Wyoming, and I mean just into it. There were, I want to say we crossed the border, and the first town you get to is Pine Bluff, and it's like half a mile away from the border of Nebraska and Wyoming. We stayed the night there.
How does the back of my head look? Is it all messed up?
I don't know, I can't see.
Okay, tell them where we stopped in Pine Bluff, which was like this completely like random awesomeness. We had no clue how cool this tiny little town was going to be. It had, what were those statues?
It's like one of the largest statues of the Virgin Mary in the United States.
And then had all of these other statues depicting like the life of Christ and stuff. Very cool. We've got a museum there that we weren't able to go to, so we were gonna have to go back because we really wanted to go to this like old Western museum. They were already closed, but they had this mural there that was completely epic. It was gorgeous. So, and the sunset was fabulous. So
the one thing I do remember though that was kind of a downer on it. The campground that we stayed at was really nice and everything. No problem with that. But it was maybe a quarter of a mile away from some very, very busy railroad tracks, and we were tent camping at the time, so it gets to be a little loud there.
And I'm terrified of two things: trains and hummingbirds. Don't judge. It's a true story, though.
It is
trains
true.
And hummingbirds, so that was a little rough. There were no hummingbirds, thank goodness, or I would not have survived. Okay, next.
Next, we made our way into the northern part of Utah.
Utah. We lived in Utah once. A couple times we've lived in Utah. For a minute. Utah. Shout out to all our peeps in Utah.
You know, in fact, we ended up staying there with her first cousin, and a place called Rvers City. Absolutely gorgeous place.
I don't like to go to Heber City though because a lot of movie star live there. There's paparazzi. They're all over me all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Did I stump you? Okay. Please continue.
Anyhow, we have also in the southwestern part of the state, which is beautiful. We've been to Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon. I mean, we've been campground managers at a KOA there in the southwestern part of the state. We've been camp host up in the high Uinta Mountains in a beautiful, beautiful area there. It's worth the trip to go down Mirror Lake Highway.
Yeah, up Mirror Lake Highway. There's like, I don't even know, like 10, 15 campgrounds on Mirror Lake Highway.
Yeah. Really
pretty and a ton of waterfalls. So, yeah, I love Utah because north to south, east to west, like it's different all over the place. So.
Yeah, and as we made our way across Wyoming, we kind of decided to, at the last moment, to go ahead and take Mirror Lake Highway down into Heber City. So it was just going down memory lane because, like I said, we were camp hosts there up at a campground at 10,000 feet. So beautiful area, though.
Where do we go next?
After that, we left and went to Idaho.
Idaho. Oh, northern Idaho is pretty cool. Didn't we go through Idaho on the way back too, or no?
Yes, we did.
All right. Keep going.
So at that part of our journey, we'd been traveling for quite a long time over the course of just a few days. And we were just kind of anxious to get to where we needed to be. So as we were traveling along the interstate in southern Idaho, it's probably not the most exciting place in the world, admittedly. We were just so anxious to keep going. We probably overlooked some of the great scenic value of southern Idaho, but it wasn't as exciting as we were hoping that it would be. We went to Seattle. We came back to the northern part of Idaho, perhaps one of the prettiest areas in the United States. Absolutely gorgeous up by Coeur d'Alene. And so I can't say enough glowing things about the state of Idaho.
And the people were super nice. We, honestly, everywhere we've gone, we've never been to a state where we've thought, I'm not going
to go there anymore.
Those people are crazy.
Yeah, we always try to look for the good in people. So
we're positive people.
Yeah, so we...
Also on this trip, we should let them know because they'll see the pictures. We had Dino and Taxi with us.
Oh, yes.
On this trip. We have a couple of insanely adorable grandsons that wanted to go on this adventure with us, but we couldn't take them. So we had them each choose a toy to take with us. And it fits their personality. Our older grandson, who is 4, chose a dinosaur, and we called him Dino. And our 3-year-old grandson, he was 2, I think, at the time, chose a little taxi because he loves cars and dump trucks and stuff. So everywhere we went, we took a picture with Dino and Taxi, and we would send them these pictures via text and then talk to them. And so the toys got to go on an adventure with us. So those made for some pretty adorable pictures. Okay, next.
Next, we made it to the state of Oregon.
Oregon, where is Oregon?
So what was fun about that is, of course, Oregon had, at the time, just started allowing people to
pump their own gas.
So it was fun to pull up to a gas station and watch people get confused at how they could go about pumping their own gas. But all kidding aside, it was kind of a neat state as we went through just the northeast corner of the state. So we never actually made it into this area down through here, but we went through the northeast corner of the state, and it seemed like just about every 5 miles as we turned a corner there would be something new. We ended up staying at a campsite, a boondocking campsite that we saw on freecampsites.net. Took a little while to find it, but as we made it there, it was just along a creek. In fact, we felt like we'd blown it because we got there a little bit later than we wanted, and there was somebody at each one of the campsites along this creek. But as we pulled up, we noticed that there was just this couple younger couples sitting there talking, and we said, "Hey, are you going to be leaving soon?" They said, "Hey, we're getting out of here right away." So we talked to them for a little bit and pulled on in, and just a beautiful place.
Yeah. So, like you said, we didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time in Oregon, so that's definitely a place we're excited to go back and explore at some point because we know that it is gorgeous. Okay, so we've taken you from Missouri all the way to Oregon, and we're about to go to Washington. So in our next video, we're going to take you all the way from Washington back and show you all the rest of the states that we've stayed in as well, including a trip that we lovingly call our hippie trip. So you have to watch that one because the hippie trip was super cool. And also, Dino and Taxi had a ton of adventures, and you're gonna want to see that. So this is the Grassies, both of us. He's over there hiding.
Hey.
Reminding you to get down to the grassroots of what makes you happy and live your love. See you next time. Light living. What are they called?
Living